New Zealand. It's
Check this shit
10,000
out.
clicks
This is
away
proof I
from
know what I'm
the
talking about.
USSA. And my very special guest today is Andrew Norton Webber. We're going to be talking about distilled water, if I'm not mistaken. Andrew, welcome to the program.
Hi, Vincent. Thanks for having me on. So I started studying distilled water books and authors from around the world, and sure enough, even though they don't mention urine, everything they're describing does exactly what urine does. And then I started looking into juicing books, and everything that happens in the juicing world is exactly what happens in the distilled water world and the urine world. And of course, the common ingredient between all three of these things and machine-made distilled water is pure distilled water. And so then I quickly saw and learned, and here's how water works. Opposites attract. And that in the currently accepted scientific worldview of opposites attract, water has a negative electrical charge to a clean molecule of water. And everything that is not supposed to be in your body, the arthritis, the stone material in between your bones, the plaque in your heart, the stone in your cataracts, the yellow gunk, the fluoride, the chlorine, the nicotine that's making your teeth yellow, every single thing in existence, including all pathogens, that are not supposed to be in the body have the opposite charge from water. They have a positive charge. And it's just that simple. It is magnetically attracted to what you think of as garbage, dirt, things that are deadly to you. And that's why you're not supposed to know about it, because it vacuums out the body. And Western medicine is making their money and keeping people in misery, and which means power over the people, through the lack of the one simple idea of cleaning the body out from the inside. Everybody cleans on the outside constantly. And evidence that we're not clean on the inside is we all have to use deodorants and have tons of smells coming in, perfumes. Babies don't need that because they smell sweet. The human body smells sweet naturally. The only reason for deodorants and perfumes is because we are full of decades-old garbage. Now, Western medicine doesn't want to remove the cause of your problems. If you got breast cancer, they want to irradiate the breast or chop off the breast. They don't want to talk about removing the cause, because if they did, there'd be no more repeat symptoms bubbling up out of the cause, which, to simplify, is toxic overload within the body.
To simplify even further, is repeat business.
Yes, very much so. And they don't want you to know about distilled water because it does nothing but focus on removing the cause. It does nothing but go in and magnetically search for objects of the opposite charge. Whether you bless it or not, whether you believe in it or not, whether you put your intentions on it or not, whether you structure it, vortex it, bless it, put crystals in it, whatever you want to do to put it in the sunshine, it doesn't care. The properties of water are as they are. This is the reason we're 80% water. It's the only reason we're standing. It's the only reason you could eat Crisco, butter, steaks, and lobster your whole life and not drop dead. It's been the water all along that has been vacuuming it out of our bodies. Now, most people are eating 3 cooked meals a day, and animals in nature don't ever eat cooked food. And so there's only a certain top speed at which the body can eject garbage. Most people are exceeding that rate, and it gets stuffed up and stuffed up and stuffed up, and so you're seeing this incredible levels of diseases. If you reverse that trend and start eating either raw foods, which digest themselves and don't require hardly any effort on the body, and or just slow down on the amount you're eating, you can reverse the trend, be taking in less than the rate at which you can push it out. And you add pure water to that rather than stone waters already, city tap water, which is already loaded with stuff, or spring waters, mineral waters. These are already loaded with garbage, and they don't have empty vacuum bags. They're already got stuff on their bags, and their ability to pick up garbage, these individual water molecules, and their ability to have magnetism to attract it. If they got stuff hanging all over them, it's like a horseshoe magnet, when it's clean and with no nails on it. It's powerful, and you can suck nails away from the pile without even getting close to the pile of nails. You get more and more nails on it, it's weaker. You got to put it closer into the pile of nails. You get so many nails on it, you want to try to pick up some more, it actually ends up dropping a few off because it's lost its power. That's what dirty water is like. That's what spring waters are like, and tap water. And the The ruse, though, that is fooling everybody is nobody's talking about what types of minerals. Everybody's saying, yeah, I got to get my spring water because, yeah, I got to get my minerals. And Perrier and Pellegrino and all these fancy waters from around the world that people are paying out, crazy amounts for.
Which are incidentally containing fluoride because they don't actually come from a spring at all. And when you call them up, that's what they tell you. Oh, it comes from a spring, all right. They're just reading a script, bro. It's like Lewis Black said. There is some dude in Pittsburgh in his bathtub filling those frickin' bottles.
Yep. Yep. And even the ones that aren't coming from taps, even if they are the most well-meaning artesian, Fiji, whatever, there's two types of minerals, and this is left out of the conversation. There's organic minerals and inorganic minerals.
Mm-hmm. He better talk about that.
And I'm not talking about farming. I'm talking about in the world of chemistry, there's organic and inorganic. And the human body can only assimilate organic minerals. Inorganic minerals are what you think of as dust and dirt and stone that you have no desire to ever eat dirt, for the most part, right?
No. And speaking of inorganic minerals, the body can't absorb them. Have you heard of Dr. Thomas Levy? He got a bowl of cornflakes, I think, Kellogg's cornflakes. It says, we've got iron in these cornflakes.
See?
So he gets a magnetic bag, blends up the cornflakes, puts them in the bag, and then all of these iron filings and shavings actually wind up accumulating on the magnet strip of the bag. They're actually adding real metal into that stuff, and it's not bioavailable, bro.
That's a beautiful example, and that is exactly the ruse that's going on. They said, hey, it's got iron, right? We said it's got iron, not lying to you. Just telling you the whole truth.
Dude, that battleship has iron. Are you saying that it's nutritious for me to try and eat it?
That's right. And that's what's killing people, is this lack of piece of knowledge of the difference between the two types of minerals. If Perrier and Pellegrino were being honest and listing the full chemical title of the calcium, magnesium, potassium they're so proud of, it would have to say inorganic calcium, inorganic magnesium, and so on. Just think about it. These are groundwaters. If you had a glass of clean water and you splashed it across the ground and then picked it up, you know it's going to have dirt in it, right? But most people don't realize that water is magnetically attracted to dirt. They just think of a sweeping action and somehow gets caught up in it. But you can even see when you wash your laundry, your clothes, the dirt seems to not stay with the piece of clothing. It seems to go away with the water. And there is the sweeping action, but it's really the magnetism that it's sticking to. That's why the first thing you think of when you have something dirty, you wear some water. I want to rinse it off. And so in the early death article, the main ruse that is used to scare people, and pretend you don't know anything about distilled water, I know you will now though, but just start asking random people without tipping off, say, what do you know about distilled water? Should I drink it? You will start to see this undeniable pattern of people going, oh, no, you shouldn't drink it because it will leach minerals from the body. That's coming from the early death article. And see how, notice they did not...
Hold on a second. It's leaching minerals from the body, sure, but it's leaching the inorganic, unabsorbable minerals, right? Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah. That's right. And that is the main, that right there is what is murdering people on a daily basis. That article is scaring people away from it constantly because of that one simple trick of words, not mentioning what type of minerals you're talking about.
Yeah, see?
There's two things, you remember only two things from this talk. One is that pure water is the cleaner for the human body. Two is that high, steady, consistent volume is the method. And for the average 150-pound man, a gallon a day will start to bring about fountain of youth type effects as though one were drinking what people experience through drinking urine or fruit juices. The meaning of distilled water is in the word itself. It means it's not still, and it's referring to at the molecular level that there's no objects of the opposite charge clinging to the individual molecules and slowing them down. The more objects you add enough, eventually becomes mud, very still, right? Distilled water is at the other end of the spectrum, nothing but hydrogen and oxygen. It's not still. It's the fastest moving water in existence. The early death article is impossible to be an accident. It's very clear that it's done on purpose. And this, anybody that's in the truth movement should let you know that when they're trying to hide something, there's something there. And what we are talking about is basically all of the fantasy weapons and defenses that you ever heard about come through this knowledge of water. The Lost Fountain of Youth is water. The Secret of Alchemy is water, and I'll explain that later. The Spear of Destiny, the Holy Grail has to do with water. These are all, this is what we need to kick the monsters off the planet, is this pure water knowledge. And that's why they're so desperate. They took the chances to write an article trying to scare water-based creatures away from pure water when it's really the most awesome thing they can ever ingest. It shows how desperate they are, and it really exposes their attempts to hide this knowledge. They didn't have to try too hard to hide the urine therapy knowledge, but the distilled water one, you will see that it is prevalent. You will see that there, everybody in your health food store will be offended if you start trying to tell them you're going to drink distilled water and you don't like mineral water. They'll think you're crazy because this is so, it's just out there everywhere.
Man, my point exactly. See? I'm standing on volumes. I told you that. I like I said, I stumbled upon that information last night before I took my little nap. But yeah. So that's how you gotta get the water. I mean, you gotta bring the light within yourself. Dude said everything. Photosynthesis, photo. Light. The plants do what? They absorb the light and the bioavailable metals that you're supposed to get. You're not supposed to have, man, come on. Like I said, volumes, man. And that hydrocarbon tape was crazy, wasn't it? Man, I told you, look. This is how you got to do it, man. You got to start within oneself. And after you do that, that's how you bust down. This is what it is. I told you, it's an elemental life we live. You think I'm playing games? I'm not. I'm not playing games with you. It's elemental. Dude clearly just said it. Dude clearly just said it, man. So like I said, when you stand on volumes and information, everything you know what I'm saying, it comes about. This is one hundo. It's your boy signing off, Dr. Crow. I know I had a lot of information these couple of days, but I hope these 2 tapes are a doozy. So I'll catch you guys on the next episode. I gotta drop this Blowfield material now. I'm out here on the flip.